Ho, 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 and welcome to day 3 of our B2B Christmas calendar. If you can't see who I am, I'm Harold, and I'm just gonna fix my beard a bit. In today's gift from the Bureau Santa, we are gonna go into your prospecting process. So basically, how you can find, qualify, and basically segment your prospects and leads. So what we're going to go through in this video is that you're going to, by the end of this video, have a defined audience that you've been able to scrape or extract using LinkedIn. And we're going to use both a regular search on LinkedIn and we're going to use the Sales Navigator search on LinkedIn so that you can see the process with both. And we built a tool for you for this process and an end-to-end flow that will allow you to do this in a way better and easier and faster way. So let's dive into it. So on this page and below this video, what you're going to do is you're going to see the general process and the principles that we're going to go through. You're going to find the resources links that you can use those and download them. But it's in this video, I'm going to go through the actual how-to step by step by step. If you wait to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a unique insight into how this process that we're going to cover today fits into your entire system so that you can have an AI-powered marketing engine and system that works before Christmas. So let's dive into it, shall we? So the very first thing that you need to do is that you need to have your audience prepped. You need to have your audience ready. And if you are at today, day 3 of our Christmas calendar, you should have completed day 2. Meaning, if you haven't done that, you should click this link and go back to day 2 so that you can prep and get your audience defined. Not just have your research ready, but have your audience ready, because we're going to use that. And by that, I mean, and by ICP, it's basically the acronym for ideal customer profile or ideal client profile, or how you want to put it. But it basically means what's the role of the decision maker that you want to reach? What's the industry the company is in? What's the headcount of the company? Where are they located? And other metrics and other things that identify who you want to reach. Then once you have that ready, we can go to step 2. And that's when we get to the search on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is the go-to default for finding our audience. And the reason being is that a lot of other platforms, they rely on the data from LinkedIn to build their databases. They don't only use LinkedIn, but they use LinkedIn as the baseline. And what's happened I think actually it was to this year in 2025, was that LinkedIn brought forth their hammer and hammered down a lot of those companies relying on LinkedIn, because the LinkedIn is king. So for this, we use the regular LinkedIn searches and we use Sales Navigator. When it comes to the regular LinkedIn searches, you really have a couple of options for filtering. You have if they're connected to you, second connections, third connections, location, the current company that they're in, if they're a connection of a certain individual, school, past companies, industries is an important thing, service categories is an important thing, keywords are a very important thing, and Boolean search is an important thing. And the one thing that I actually want to show you, which is important, is the regular Boolean searches. Because the Boolean search is where you can really tie down and tighten your search criteria. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one audience and basically go through the process of finding an audience on LinkedIn. So I have, and you have in the guide, a Boolean search, and that is demand generation or performance marketing and B2B. So actually, let's go back again and let's zoom in here. So demand generation or performance marketing and B2B, not agency and not freelance. So how this Boolean search is structured is that everything within the parentheses is kind of like a group. So it's this one or that one, or it could be this and that one, but basically everything within the parentheses is something that we need to have. So since we're using an or, that means this or that. Then we have an and B2B. meaning it's a demand generation or performance marketing in B2B. We're going to exclude everything that is agency and everything that is freelance. So this is a search for demand generation or performance marketing in B2B that's not an agency and not a freelance. And that's what we're then going to get. So we want to do a people search, and in here we can do a bit more filtering. So if you can bring up all filters, and then you can define where you want those individuals to be. So in my case, one of the audiences and segments we have is the United States. Then I can scroll further down, and what I can then do is I can filter based on industries. So I want to, let's say, do professional services, and I want to do marketing, so advertising services. I prefer the profile to be in English, and service categories, I'm going to leave this open for now and show results. One thing which is important when it comes to searching on LinkedIn and then being able to extract is to know how many pages and how many people are in that search. And what we know is that we can only extract 1,000 people from a regular search and 2,500 from a sales navigator search. Again, don't hold me to these because these change over time. But here you have the page for your initial search, and that's the way to do the search. In a bit, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the process of how to extract them, because we built a custom Chrome extension for you so that you can do that without necessarily having to pay for another tool for it. So for Sales Navigator, which is the next way we do the audiences, is we have a lot of more filters that we use. We have typically the company headcount, we have the function, we have the seniority level, years in company and position, we have years of experience, and we also have a couple that is interesting, and that is viewed your profile recently, they've changed job, they're posted on LinkedIn. So this is also a super interesting metric, because if you have the total audience and you can see, okay, say that is 10,000, and you toggle the posted on LinkedIn and you see that's 1,000, that's a 10% activity rate of that audience. And the interesting thing with that is simply the fact that you have audiences that have a very low activity rate, meaning it's likely to underperform if you run any sort of outbound, or if you have a very high percentage of engagement, or posting, it's a higher likelihood that they were going to respond from an outbound campaign. Now, when it comes to building audiences, either with Sales Navigator or with a regular search, you want to build 3-tier targeting. You have tier 1, which is your key decision makers and signatory rights and purchase power. You have tier 2, which are the supporting and other roles involved. So if you sell to the CEO, he or she might need to talk to the CFO and the CMO or the chief strategy officer, or depending on who your audience is, they need to talk with someone else. And then you have a tier 3, which are non-decision makers, but they can have an involvement in the purchasing process by becoming and being an internal champion for you and your company in that prospect company. So that's really it. So the thing that I want to do now is I want to actually do the same type or go through a search on how I think through this in Sales Navigator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our audience. It's typically 11 to 50 employees. I want the current job title to be the founder, co-founder, and I want this to be owner and CEO. And from here, seniority, well, I don't really need to think about that. Geography, United States, and I do industry, consulting, business consulting, and advertising services. And then I'm actually going to take the same Boolean search that we had and put that into keywords. And then from this one specifically, we find 545. The one thing that I can then do is that I can see that 212 posted on LinkedIn. So that gives us 202 out of 545. That's a 38% engagement rate or activity rate from this audience, which is really, really good. The regular that you're probably going to see is 10 to 20. So this is a really good activity level. So that's really one. If you really want to find people that have more seniority, use the years of experience to, let's say, more than 10 years. And this is also going to change it to 447. 192 are active, so 475 that the 40%, so there's an increased activity rate by the seniors. So you can do an analysis based on that in terms of how is your outbound campaign likely going to perform. So that's the audience search. You can go way more in detail to this, but a key rule of thumb is if you have an audience in Sales Navigator higher than 2,500, you want to segment that down so that you have an audience less than 2,500, because that allows you to be able to extract all those people that are on all of those pages instead of being cut off by the privacy filter that is on LinkedIn. Now, we did a couple of things to help you do this. So we built a Sales Navigator and a regular LinkedIn search Chrome extension, which allows you to extract this. So we have a video in here that you can watch that talks through and shows you how to download these two and how to install them. I have both of them, so I'm going to show how to use them. So let me start with the normal LinkedIn search extractor. So once you have it added, you basically go to the page, ensure everything is loaded, open it, and hit extract. Then you go to the next page, click it again, wait for everything to load, scroll down, hit extract. And if you export this, this is going to then give you a file that has all those details of those individuals in there in terms of from this list. And we're going to use that in a moment. So here's an example of that. Now, the same goes with the Sales Navigator search, but it's a different extension altogether. So I'm going to clear the current search that I have in there. I'm going to scroll all the way down to ensure everything is loaded. I'm going to hit extract. So sometimes that happens because then I just need to reload it. So I'm going to scroll all the way down, hit extract, and then hit extracted 25. And I can go to the next page. I can click it again, have it open, ensure everything loads, scroll all the way down, and then hit extract contacts again. And now I have 50. So if I export that, I can open that one as well. And I will have more details about all of these people in here. Now, one thing that we always do is that we use filtering of leads, meaning that those that we now have extracted, we're not 100% sure if they are within our ICP and our audience. So what we then want to do is that we want to build an N8N flow that allows us to filter these people based on the criteria that we have. So if you don't have the ICP matching or your criteria, we built actually a custom GPT that can help you do this, that allows you to really create your ICP matrix for matching. So you can click this link to get to that custom GPT, and then you can go through it, get your matching criteria, and then you can use that in the N8N template. So when it comes to the N8N, if you don't have N8N, N8N is an automation tool that allows you to build flows and automate things. And it's the best tool for that. And I have a template for you. So you can click download this N8N template, which will take you to our drive where you have the full thing. So you can use this in two ways. You can mark everything, which is quite a lot, and copy and paste, which will allow you to paste it directly to a new flow. Or you can download this file, and you can, in N8N, click the three buttons and import from file, and then select the file that you now just downloaded. So, but I already have it, so I'm going to go through the process of how to use it. So in the beginning, in the top, you will see the link. You can get our stuff in here. But the first thing that you need to do is that you need to open and create a duplicate of the Google template that we have. Because for us to enrich and qualify our leads, we want to have a place to store those leads. So we have created a template for you, lead ICP matching algo. So what you do, you hit file, make a copy, and then you have it. The next thing you want to do is that you want to integrate N8N to Google Sheets, because there's not a direct connection, so you need to connect them. For that, you have both the documentation and you have a tutorial video from us or with me that I'm going through how to connect this in a separate video, which you can look at, and it's like 6 minutes long. Once you have that, you will need a Rapid API scraper account. And that's the tool that we use to scrape and fetch as much details as we can from every single one of those that we extracted from LinkedIn, so that we can make an educated qualification and segmentation of absolutely everyone. So you can create a free account at rapidapi.com. We don't have any affiliation with them whatsoever. And then you need to subscribe to the free plan with this API. And this is where you can decide to go free, which will make you limited to how many people you can process, or you can pay $40 a month and you can be able to run this with 15,000 people every single month. So what you then need to do is that you need to go to the app, go on X Rapid API key, and replace the API key in the scrape post node below. So the first thing that we want to do is that we want to be able to, or I'm actually going to show you. So the first thing you want to do is, once you have your Google Sheet connected, you want to take the template that you now duplicated, select, and ensure that you have it similar to what I have on my page now. All of these should preload based on the template, but if they don't, you have pause that video, go back, pause it, go through it, and ensure that it looks the same. What this does is that this allows us to import all of the leads. So if I hit this one and I hit play, it will open this, and I can look at my downloads, and I can select file, and I can select my download of Sales Navigator contacts and hit submit. What that will do is that will take the actual file, and I can extract from that file. And I will then have a table of all of those individuals that we now scraped from LinkedIn. I will then loop over all of them and send them to Google Sheets. So if I want to do this, what I can do is I can click here, I go to production, I can open this URL, I need to activate it, go to this URL, and now I can do it. So I can choose that file, select the Sales Navigator contacts, and hit submit. So now that goes through, it takes all of those, splits them out, loop over one by one, and adds them to Google Sheet. So if I go here, you can see that they are now being added one by one into that sheet. So I'm going to just let that be, and you can do the same with the regular search. So what you want to do is that you want to just have the production URL, and that's where you can find the page to submit that file that you downloaded from LinkedIn. Next is the process of scraping. So this is set up to go automatically. So you don't really need to do anything else than take and extract from LinkedIn with the extensions, download, upload, and this will just go on. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to add in your Rapid API key here. That will allow the rest of the system to actually use it and then take it from there. The next thing you need to do is that you need to update this to select the duplicated template in Google Sheet that you created, leads, and ensure that profile scraped equals blank, meaning it has no data and value in the column for profile scraped. Then what you want to do is that you want to really not do anything else other than update the two other Google Sheets, because the rest of this is going to fetch your API key that you've set in the beginning. So these will run by themselves, and what they will do is that first they will scrape the LinkedIn profile, and then it will find the company, and it will scrape the company page on LinkedIn. And then it will add all of these directly into the document. So one thing which you can see is that this top profile, Jennifer, her profile was scraped, and we have a lot of details. We have the company being scraped, and a lot of details there as well. And we got the company website. And that's really the next step. So the next step and the third step is that every 30 minutes, it's going to fetch those leads that were scraped, where the profile, actually, this is not correct. Find all leads where website is not scraped. So it will find profile scraped, yes, company scraped, yes, website scraped details is blank, meaning we haven't scraped their website. So this is going to take all of those. It will go scrape the website over the company. It will turn that into Markdown, which is not a code language, but actually plain text. It will add the scraped website to Google Sheets so that we will see the company details. If that is not able to do it, and really no matter what, it's going to go to the AI node to write or do the evaluation for us. And here you need two things. first thing you need to do is that you need to sign up for Open Router, which is the aggregator where we're going to use the AI. So Open Router is a platform you can sign up for. It's super easy to sign up for it, and you can create your own API key. You will actually have a video on our page for day 3 where you can watch this video and see how to get that API key. Once you've added that in, which really is great credential, and you add it in, you want to take your ICP matching criteria and add it in. So this is where you do it. So you go to prompt, open this, and you paste in your ICP criteria, matching criteria, everything about your target audience in here. And you leave everything else as is. This will then analyze your company or the prospect or lead, and it will qualify them, and it will add that to the Google Sheets. So here you will see a qualification score, a qualification tier, qualification summary, and recommend the next step, and also the full analysis and qualification of those leads or that lead. So this system will then take you through how to do all of this. One thing to note is that this is a template. We're using Google Sheets. Google Sheets is highly limited to how many activities you can do a minute. So fetch from Google Sheets, so list all records, add, update, stuff like that. It's limited. So it's recommended to use something like Airtable, Postgres, NoCoDB, or some other database, which allows for a higher volume. So that's really the process. So now the question is, you now have a way to find your prospects, extract them from LinkedIn for free, and bring them into your own proprietary qualification process so that you can define who you want to run with. And you can build whatever you want on top of this. So you can define, okay, what will different qualification scores get? Where will they go? What will low fit, medium fit, high fit, tier 1, 2, 3? How will all of those be addressed and handled? That's up to you. So really, what you have now is that you have a full process to find them, extract them, scrape them, qualify them, and now your creativity is what sets the limits. Having said that, we will go more into how you can use these different things in your company and put these leads into a specific flow later in the Christmas calendar. And that's something to look for. So at the very top of this page, you have a button called All Gifts. If you want to get all of these sent to your email every single day throughout December for when they are being launched, click there, sign up. But what I want to also do now is that now you have the first and overall process for how this system works and how you can do your prospecting in a better way. With that, what do you do with those prospects? You can run outbound, you can run inbound, but I actually want to ask you for permission for a minute to actually go ahead and share you one system that we built that has worked for 58 or close to 60 different companies at this point, where we ourselves generate more than 1.5 million impressions, and we've generated more than 55,000 leads in the last under 12 months, actually, for our own company. So if you stick around, you're going to learn more about that, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to learn something from it. So the thing that I want to share with you is the engine that we've built since 2011, so the past 14 years, to help companies use the digital space and digital platforms to grow their company. And if you're a B2B company, which I assume you are, since you are here, and this is a Christmas calendar for B2B companies, and probably I have a hunch that you're a founder, you're an owner, you're a CEO, you're someone in charge, and you want to see how you can grow further. And if you're selling anything to B2B, there are really 2 ways that we do the first thing, which is how do we generate the leads? So you now already have the leads because we scraped them, we found them on LinkedIn, we scraped them, we qualified them. Now you have a list. Now, what do we do with that list? So there are really 2 ways we can do it. Okay, we can do the inbound path, or we can do the outbound path. If you have a very, very specific audience, so let's say that you don't really have a broad audience, outbound is probably the better for you. But if you have a mass appeal and a broader audience, inbound might be for you. And when it comes to inbound, what we do then typically is that we recommend to create resources similar to this video. This gift, day 3, your Christmas calendar, is some sort of asset, a resource, a guide that I spend probably around half an hour to create, but it will be viewed hours upon hours upon hours. I have no clue how many hours people will watch this video, and that will be able to generate a lot of attention. So you create some sort of asset. This could be in video format, it could be in written format, it could be a tool, because we created tools that is to come. So we have a lot of goodies for you for the Christmas calendar, but something that is of value. And what we do is that we post this on LinkedIn, and then we have people comment and engage, similar to what you'd likely have done at one point to enter Santa's workshop, and we send the resource to everyone. So we use tools for this so that you automate extracting and harvesting of engagement and leads from LinkedIn, just sharing stuff. And we've done that, and we generated more than 55,000 leads in less than 1 year. So that's one way. The other way is doing outbound. So the list that you now used N8N and LinkedIn and scraped and found, you take those and you add them into some sort of outbound tool. We recommend Get Sales because it's the most versatile. And you do a value-based outbound where you send someone something. And having done LinkedIn outbound and automation for more than 9 years, I've seen a lot come and go. And previously, people pitched. Pitch. But everyone does it, everyone hates it, and everyone gets it, and we're sick and tired of it. So never pitch. The second way that started originating around 6 years ago was question. Asking a genuine question to learn about your audience. So that could be ask a X or a Y question. And by asking a question, you engage in the dialogue and invite them to a discussion, and that's the start. However, a lot of people are so impatient that they couldn't wait, so they immediately started pitching when this person responded to that question. Hence, that methodology is not working as well anymore. Then you have the third one, which is what we recommend, and that is value first. So, like this video, have your own thing, and share that as the icebreaker in the conversation when you connect with someone on LinkedIn. So those are the two ways. You reach out with a valuable asset, or you post a valuable asset, and you use that to get your leads in. And what we then do is that we take all of those leads, we bring them into our database, where we bring it to the next step. If they're outbound, they're outbound. If they're inbound, we send the leads to Get Sales to enrich them, so that we have the leads a bit similar to what this process does, but a bit different. And what we then end up with is we have a lot of leads that have either engaged or connected with us that we want to follow up. Because a lot of companies, or really any companies, or the thousands of companies I've spoken to since 2011, have this in place. They have their campaign to generate the leads and convert the leads immediately in the first week, maybe 2. But what happens after that? Most companies have what I call the dead end strategy. It's a dead end to their strategy. There's nothing circular. There's nothing sustainable about it. It just goes its course, and once it reaches the end, it's a dead end. So what we do instead is that we set up a flow where we have email retargeting and meta retargeting, so paid ads on Meta. We're going to go way more into the depth of both of these in another Christmas calendar, but you want to be able to send things to people over and over and over again in a way where it's a set it and forget it system. Imagine that every one of the leads that you get from posting or from connecting keeps on receiving content. They keep on liking you more and more, and they trust your company more and more until the point that they are thinking, I should hire these guys. That's what we have at email. And we run the same type of setup with marketing on ads, but just with $5 a day. So most companies, when they run ads, they spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on something that doesn't necessarily work. $5 a day is all you need. No one has shared this strategy before. I can promise you that. And what we then do through the retargeting and ads and emails is that we score people. So based on if someone engages, they open an email, they click an email, they reply to an email, they click an ad, they visit a page, they download an asset, we score them. And by scoring them, we're able to segment them into a cold, warm, and hot segment. And if they reach a hot segment, we ping your sales team so that your sales team can know which leads should we focus our effort on. And that way, you never need to ask the question, we don't know which leads we should focus on. We just go through them all and typically end up wasting a lot of time. So with this system, you're not just only generating leads, you are learning more about them, you're building more trust with them, you're building reciprocity because you give away valuable stuff, and you empower your sales team to convert and perform better because they know where to put their time and effort. And this system, the beauty of it is that as soon as it's set up, it's almost like you set it and forget it. Once Christmas is here and Santa is ready, the workshop just keeps on going. And that's a bit about what you can get as well. So I want to give you a walkthrough of this. And what you will be able to do at the bottom of this page is that you're going to be able to schedule a call with us to get to see how Santa's workshop will be able to work for your company. How this could be copy pasted into your company so that you never need to ask a question. 1, where do I get my leads? 2, where do I spend my time? Because once this is set up, you are no longer on a hamster wheel of continuously trying new strategies. These things work. And this thing is why you are here, my friend. You are here because you have been enrolled into Santa's workshop and this process. And now you have the opportunity to see how you can copy this into your company. So click down below at the very bottom of this page. You will have a booking calendar where you can schedule a call with us and we can build you this workshop and this engine as well. And with that, I wish you a great rest of your day and a happy Christmas when that comes. And I hope you enjoyed this day of the Christmas calendar. And probably you will get more of this. So, ho ho, Harold checking out.